Hello, YouTubing simmers, for those returning and for those newcomers. Hi there, my name is Rebecca, also known as Curious Safe One, and this is part 3 of my testimony of how I got reacquainted with God, using The Sims 4. These are true events that did happen in my life, which I felt the need to share. So, let's get into it. I've always had gallstones in my gallbladder. They were easy to form considering they're just calcium deposits. And I had to take calcium supplements for my calcium deficiency. So every so often I would suffer a gallbladder attack where the pains would be so bad, they would make grown men hunch over and cry from the agonizing pain, which was paralyzing. After my 12th gallbladder attack, they operated on me to take it out. At the time of my last attack, I was working 3 jobs. My main job was working as a certified nursing assistant, which I loved every minute of it. My second job was working as a medical biller, doing a range of different things. But I wasn't happy there. Who would be? I was stuck in an office for most of my time, staring at a computer screen, by myself. My third job was taking care of this sweet elderly Italian man who lived alone, where I cooked, cleaned, bathed, and dressed him. And of course, his life stories were so interesting that I would lose track of time. I was at my main job the day of the attack, where I passed out in one of my patient's rooms while I was picking out his clothes for the day. Notice, in the other jobs, if it were to happen, I wouldn't have been found until it was too late. Not to mention, if it would have happened anywhere else, I wouldn't have medical supplies like oxygen. Just wanted to point that out. Well, the day I passed out, my patient rang the bell and got help for me. My wing partner, as in the other CNA that shared my hallway, came in to answer the bell and saw me collapse on the floor in front of the closet. And she ran and got the charge nurse, and the nurse called a doctor that was already at the nurse's station, updating one of the residents' charts. And resident is just what we call patients at a nursing home. Of course, I'm grateful to my coworkers for their on-their-feet action. And I'm thankful to God for setting the dominoes in action. Because like I said, if it were to happen anywhere else, I wouldn't have gotten the rapid response that I did. And who knows, maybe I wouldn't be here talking to you this very day. The doctor from the nursing home asked who my primary doctor was, and by the time I arrived to the emergency room, he was already waiting for me there. So I didn't have to deal with the emergency department doctors too much in explaining the situation. But after I got my gallbladder removed, my doctor didn't feel safe sending me back to work. My lab results showed I was a ticking time bomb just waiting to happen. My kidney levels were high at 5.85. The normal is 0.6 to 1.1 for females. My potassium was at 8. Anything close to 9 is flatline. Your heart can stop. Doctors get worried when it's between 5.1 to 6.0 because it's considered a mild hyperkalemia. So imagine. Magnesium and calcium had also dropped to a very dangerously low number. Again, so low it should have stopped my heart. But it didn't. If that isn't a miracle, I don't know what is. But the doctors who had witnessed this, believe it or not, have now come to Jesus and found their ways into churches. Doctors are the hardest. Let me tell you why. They only believe in what they see, touch, things with proven facts. And to work with doctors, you have to have patience. A lot of endurance, kind of a patience, in order to convince a doctor. Which, may I add, by no power of my own, but that of God's power and His alone. How do I know this? Simple. I've worked in the medical profession for over 10 years. Some may believe in a higher power, but if you ask them if they believe in God the Father, Jesus the Son, and the power of the Holy Spirit, they can't answer. I've had doctors come and say, "Honestly, we don't know how you aren't in the morgue." And my answer is always, God said it's not time for me to go home yet. There are still people like you who believe more in science with inconclusive data than in God, which is conclusive in everything around you. Let me give you an example. Science says the universe was created out of nothingness in the Big Bang. But that same science contradicts itself by saying nothing can't be created out of nothingness. The Bible doesn't teach that. The Bible teaches in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and the life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. How do we know this? Simple. Genesis says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now, the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said is a command, using words. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called, which is another command, again using words. God called the light day, and the darkness he called, there is that command word again. He called night, and there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. So the universe wasn't created out of nothingness. It was created by words. Words do have power. Words are power. So next time you wish for something, be sure that's what you really want, because it just might come true. As for the next time the doctor says you have some illness, if you have the faith of a mustard seed, which is about half of an apple seed, if you cut that apple seed in 4 pieces, that is how small a faith you need in Jesus to take back ill words. Incredible, right? But true. Doctors have always tried to kill me off with their words. Because of my Addison's, doctors would say I wouldn't make it to live to my 16 years of age. And in between then, when I was 3, to when my gallbladder was removed, if it was true what the doctor said, then I should have been dead 37 times. And I'm only 34. So, imagine. If I truly believed in their words, then yes, they would be right. But each time I was told that it was another doctor who not only believed in God, but believed that God does do miracles, especially today. I'm not saying not to listen to the doctors, because God at times uses doctors to help us. What I am saying is, if the doctors can't explain what medical records prove otherwise, and you not only believe in God, but also believe in Jesus, and have faith in which you do not see, that is a miracle. Stay tuned for the next part of my testimony and witness of God's love and mercy.